I'm Miss Salim Hussain, this is Nicola Zimmer, we're both from Deer International School. Just give me a moment to work this one. Where are we? There we are. Okay, our email addresses are on the top there. Somebody has already asked me if we have this information available for you to take away. We don't have that, but if you leave your email address for us, we can email this data on to you, okay? Right. This is essentially, we're talking about SciPad. We're basically looking at what's been happening in Deer International School itself. Well, late 2012, we managed to get good standards, okay, so we're doing pretty well. Later on in 2012, our director, Jeff Smith, went along to some sort of presentation, an Apple School presentation basically, and he was very much enthused about what was happening with iPads and basically any smart media that you could actually come up with. So he introduced in 2013, earlier last year, he introduced iPads. They were written into the policy for the actual school, so eventually all teachers would have access to an iPad. What came about first of all is that primary teachers started to get them, so they were issued their iPads. Of course, secondary weren't too happy about that because we didn't get them straight away, but primary got their iPads and they started to use them, using them in classes. By autumn 2013, all of secondary teachers also had their own iPads. Now what we're doing with iPads and what's particularly happened within the science department itself is that the way our office is based, we can all actually sit down and talk to each other quite easily, and it's quite a nice friendly environment in there. So what happens is we kind of discuss the different apps that we're using, and a lot of these apps that are being used in and around the school itself is basically through word of mouth. So you'd be sitting down talking to someone in the staff room or just passing by, you notice they've got an app open on their iPad, you'd ask them what it is, okay, and see if it's something that you could actually utilise within your lessons. Very recently, and Nick and I have also actually given some of these as CPD sessions on using iPads within lessons as well, okay, so to develop not only our teaching but the learning of students also. How has it affected it? Well, basically, as one teacher's put it, one night an app changed my life, okay, basically. And that's an app called iDocuyo. It's not one that we've got here. I'm assuming you all use MacBooks. You have some version of a MacBook where you can actually document all your students' results and everything and all the data that you need for them. iDocuyo is something, I think it's paid for, isn't it? But it is an app that you can actually use that will basically help you do all that, have all your MacBooks at hand. It's a nice, what's the word I want? It's a nice electronic way of keeping it all together, okay? So that's, I know several teachers are actually using this just because one teacher had started using it themselves, okay? So it is one app that has changed one particular person's life. So we want to get to all the good stuff, the stuff that you can actually use, okay? Right, I'm going to leave that bit there. Now what we've got around the room here, which is why I'd like you to be in like small groups, little documents here. So you've got laminated things that will tell you about 10 different apps that we, within the science department at Deer International School, are using within our lessons, within our teaching, within the learning of the students. These are all apps that can be downloaded for free, okay, on most smart mobiles. It's not just Apple mobiles, Apple smartphones or anything, or iPads, but they are available on most smartphones, okay? Students have access to these as well. And what we'd like for you to do in this session, rather than me standing here talking at you, is for you to actually try some of these apps. Now, if you don't have the smartphone and you don't have those apps already available to you, we do have a limited number of iPads, which the school has quite nicely given to us for you to use. You can take one of these, use it, just have a wander around, please. I want you to be moving around in this session. Don't just sit there at one place. And what we'd like for you is to take at least one of these apps with you at the end of the session and say, right, I want to use this app in my lessons. Now, a lot of the information on here is how you can use them within science and how we have used them within science. If you're looking for how to use them outside of science, I can discuss that with you personally, okay? So what I'd like you to do is get yourself into little groups and just wander around, look at what's on there, take an iPad, download the app and use it. That's what we'd like you to do. Any questions? You can use your phone, your smartphones are fine. That's what I said, if you don't have access to a smart technology, then just take an iPad from here. So as long as you've got one within the groups, that there should be about 10 different groups for you to be looking at here. So just have a wander around, please. Any questions? Are the apps on here? Most of them will be on here. So, yeah. I've got enough for one per group. There's someone at that group. I've got one in that group. 0000. Right. Ladies. And that's what you're looking at. Do we have one here? You're okay on your smartphones? Right. Could I? I'm sorry. You are? Can't do the name. Rima. Do you want to join another group?
Which group?
I don't mind whichever. Or if actually, I'll get some ladies to come. Yeah. Okay, that's be great. Thank you. Then you're not working on your own. That's all. Actually, if the two of you want to sit here, that would be great. Do you want to use? Or do you already have? He is fine. Yeah. He is fine. Wherever, if you want to sit with the ladies or with the students.
We're stealing.
That's fine. You students, go ahead, go for it. Okay. What I can say to you, if you have your phones and your smart technology, take photos. Okay.
Yeah, that's a very good
Take a
idea.
photo of the whole thing. If you have any questions, Nick and I are here to help you.
If you don't have the apps on this, what do you do? Looking for Erasmus.
All right, I'll get you an Erasmus.
Excuse me?
Hello? It's 0000. You all right, Jeff? Hi. Have you ever used any of these? You've used Evernote. Well, actually, I've just been using Evernote just for the conference downstairs, and I can actually the lady's got my iPad. But what you can do with this is, as you're taking your notes, you can add a video into it. You can add a photo into it. So I've got like the notes from the conference from this morning, and it's all there now. So it's all documented. Like sometimes you need that picture in there. If you're taking a photograph and it's in a different file, it doesn't always help. I know Nick has used these in scientific lab reports as well, so students can actually write up their labs with pictures inserted in there, particularly if you've got like a long experiment to do, something when you're looking at photosynthesis or something like that. You can use it quite well in that one. So.
And is Penultimate only for... It's not
Penultimate
Android.
works with Evernote,
But
but
it's
I mean,
not
the reason
available
I use Penultimate is because I can actually use my stylus and write on it. And you know, sometimes when you don't want to type, you just want to write something, so Penultimate works for that. They both come together, they're both downloaded for free as well. So
Android to Android? Is it
from
available on
it
Android?
should be, I would assume on I know it's available on Nokia, so maybe other Androids would have it as well. But, I mean, if you want to try it on one of the iPads, then go ahead.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah?
you so much.
Which one is it? Socrative. I know quite a few teachers are using this one at the moment for just like setting up quizzes. It's just a nice quick quiz, especially when you're coming towards the end of terms and like revision student for IGCSE students and IB students. And also they can go on and make their own quizzes. So it works quite nicely for that.
Yeah. Just a free website.
It's a free website, Socrative's free. All of these that we've got are free. The iDocio isn't free. I don't know if you heard me as you were walking in. iDocio is something that a few of the teachers are using it like a MacBook. So it's their register, it's their timetable, it's everything on there. And to iDocio, you can actually get in touch with them and recommend new features. So they say something like, okay, can we not have this maybe because this would help me a little bit more? And they update it. And they'll look at comments that you've actually given them and they start updating it on as well. There's a handful of teachers that are really, really into it. Yeah, it is, and it's perfect for them, almost like a diary. So it's better. It's on hand and it's on your iPad. So because we're fortunate enough to have them in the schools. It's quite good. Do you have iPads at your school?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, not many. Is
Is it for students? Well,
Yeah,
if it's
there's a
perfect
trolley
for
of like
students, do
30.
you?
We just book them out,
Yeah.
when we need them. So
Oh,
but we've
that's
got
good.
laptops still for every year group. So.
Do you have a policy where students are allowed to use their MEDs in lessons, or are they allowed to use their mobile devices, anything that they
Oh,
have?
they don't really have any. No mobile device allowed in school.
Okay,
so.
right. That rules that one out. I'm just saying, no, because ours it works quite nicely because although the teachers all have their own iPads, which I mean for mine it's easier,
Yeah.
the students can have access to it when they need it.
Yeah.
But they also they're able to use their own devices, so they've downloaded all these on their own devices and they're off using them.
What age do you
even
work with?
secondary.
Yeah. So you're fine.
I know, was it in primary, of course, yeah, that would be different, but we like yourselves, have a trolley, which is what where this is stolen from today. So yeah, but no. Have a look, have a wander around, have a look at other stuff as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's quite a few different things that you could use. There's one that I know I had a few of the primary teachers quite enthused about. It's called Orasma.
Okay.
It's basically, it's almost like a QR code.
Okay, yeah.
It works in a similar thing, right? But what happens is, whatever, you can put a video behind it or something and it just kind of pops out of the screen.
Okay.
And I don't know, the teachers are really enthused about it. It's around here somewhere. Orasma. Yeah, it's around here somewhere.
Okay.
Have a look at it. It works quite well. Sorry. Yes.
After this QR code, we go to this website.
Yeah, that's just to generate it. This is if you're creating your own sets.
Okay.
Okay, so if you've tried that, and this is when you want to try to create your own QR. Okay, that would talk you through how to create your own QR.
What about this?
My question is, the QR code is on the website?
Oh, no, you make your own. You make a QR code.
Yeah, for example, if I see a nice video and I want to code
For what,
this-
sorry?
a nice video, on a
Uh-huh.
certain
Okay, so
topic.
you've got a video, but you've got a specific topic that it's about. So
Titration, for example.
okay, right. You would create your own QR code. So you would go into the website there, you would create it, and just by following these steps here.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Do you want to try that now, or do you want to move on to something else and have a look at what the other ideas that are available?
Sorry,
Sorry,
ma'am, we are
no,
just.
okay.
Can you just come here for a minute?
Sorry.
Just can you
Yeah,
come
yeah,
here for a
of
minute?
course.
We are just having some starting and teething problems out
Oh,
here.
that's fine.
So
Which one are we looking at? Stop student motion?
Yeah, stop.
Stop student motion. Okay, it's on there. Right.
It's there.
Right.
it was that at the start of some icon had come up.
I was late to join. So.
Stop student motion is on here somewhere. There it is. Right. Oh. I have no idea why that's changing now. Okay, these are ones that have been created that you can just look at and you can see how it can happen, and that will actually talk you through how you can actually make your own, so you can start making your own video just by pressing record there.
Just pressing this.
Yeah.
Sorry, just.
Okay, it's got the instructions there.
This can be. Who's good at it?
Just hold it up to anything. It doesn't matter what you're making right now.
What do
Just
we do?
just hold it up to anything. You need to press record.
Okay, so then it will record.
Yeah, it's going to start recording, and then you click your next.
Okay.
Okay, so it's going to hold up. So right now you've got lots of photos of just the floor, okay, which you don't want. So what you basically do is, if you've got something like an animation, what it basically does, so you can have kids doing little plasticine, little figures in plasticines, and you can get them making things. So it's almost like doing a short video. So you'd take a picture of it, and then you change it around, take a picture of the next one, and it puts it together as a video.
It means that the basic task is that in different various stages, children are carrying out their activities. So you make a video film of those activities, and then you collab.
Here, yes, you can.
That
That is
right?
what you can do with this. Yeah.
It's not animation, right?
Then this is animation.
You're creating your own
We are creating
animation.
based
You're
on the task which is
creating
given
it.
to the students.
Yeah.
So we are giving it tasks to the students, and when they are conducting the task, we are recording it, and then we are making the animation of the same.
Yeah, or you can get the students to make it
That is what.
themselves. Get
We
the
are giving a
students.
task to the students. So
If
students,
you-
when they are working in the class, we are recording it, and after recording it, we are creating an animation by using these apps.
You can do that, or as the students are actually doing it, if you want to get them to record their experiment, you can get them to do it as they're doing their experiment, and they can make a stop
So who will record it? The students or we
Well, it depends who has access to this. You can get students to do it, you can do it yourself. That's
Either the
entirely up
students
to
or the
you.
teachers
No,
will
if the students will be busy with their work task, you know.
then the teacher
Yeah,
has to
but
record
you will
it.
have one student that's able to do that.
Alright, if you are
Okay,
a group
stick
of
it in a
four.
clamp stand, press record. There you go.
Okay,
All I've got
fine.
to do is do that. That's
Okay,
one way
so-
you can get them to do that and the experiment as well.
Then how it becomes animation?
You follow through the steps, and at the end of it, you'll have your animation. You'll come through your animation.
So this apps helps you to make an animation.
Yes, the app helps you to do that, yeah. Right, guys, I have noticed that no one's sort of moving around. Can I ask you to kind of move on to a different one for me, please? And just look at some of the others. Maybe not as much detail, but so you have some idea of the different apps that you can actually use within science and just generally for teaching. So up you get, please, now. Right.
We did swap one.
You did swap one?
Yeah, we did swap them, but
Okay, you have swapped. That's fine. Even if you just want to swap them, that's fine. If you swap with someone else, and at least you have the ideas and you can look into it in more detail in your own time. Thank you. Yeah, that's your Asma. My colleagues hate me for putting their photos on, but there was an iPad here. Have they taken it with them?
This one, the brown
This one, thank you. So that's mine. That's mine. I'm going to lose it.
This is a free app, or is this?
This is free. It's free. It's free. There's actually a lot of advertising companies that are using it, and the reason I got into this was my nephew came out here on a holiday and he had a new T-shirt, a Transformers T-shirt.
Oh, right, yeah.
And on there it has said using your Erasmus app, so I opened it up, used it for that, and I just like the look on his face. I'm just like, I have to use this. So yeah, it's something worth looking into. If you just open up the app and what you need to do, right, click on the square icon at the bottom there and just aim it at that picture. You might need to fiddle around, move it up and down and stuff, but no, the whole thing. The whole thing. And what should happen is you should see an aura coming out of it. No, not wanting to work.
Excuse me? System is Wi-Fi enabled.
Pardon?
Wi-Fi enabled it is?
Is the Wi-Fi working?
In here? I don't know. Can anyone help me? Right here, it's working on this one. So, there you go. So that's just a video I made of a few little things that I put together. Okay, but you can do anything you want from this. Okay. So I had students doing the Reactivity Series.
Yeah.
So instead of me telling the order, like, you know, I'm used to telling them, right, this is the order, this is a silly sentence you need to use. I created one for each metal in the Reactivity Series that they needed to know about.
Yeah.
So they got the information and they had to rank it in order.
Yeah.
But with the auras, I had the pictures that went with the silly sentences. I mean, there's
Okay.
one that's please send Chinese monkeys and zebras in lead cages securely guarded. So there was a picture for please and there was a picture for send, and they had to put that sentence together as well as work out the order, so it kind of helped them to relate the two together. I've used it for that, I've used it for various other things. What I would like to use it for, and hopefully I'm going to get the time this year, is to create almost like a moving display board out of it.
Yeah.
So,
Go to display.
well, this is the thing, like, I don't know if the primary teachers have tried it yet. I need to get back in touch with them.
We've tried it in literacy, so
Yeah.
using it as the kids can go up and scan them to see like ideas for story sequencing. So like we'll have like a stimulus picture and then they can. But I've never used it. I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know one of them was thinking that they were doing something like, is it Snow White or something? So they'd have a picture of Snow White, and out of that could come maybe the images that they'd make, so photos of what they had. So when parents come to have a look, they just hold it up to them and they'd see the kids' work. Yeah, it's various things. You can use that one if you can help. Sorry.
Small idea about what's happening here.
Okay, sorry, right, yeah. This is science, SciPad, sorry. Okay, sorry, right, okay, this is SciPad. What we're basically doing...
Slowly, please, because I really
Right, okay, start again. Right, we're from Deer International School, and within the school we've been given iPads. So for the last year we've been using them, so we've been looking at different apps that we can use, and Nicola and I are science teachers. So within the department we looked at which applications we've been using, and we've put them together as basically little mats that would give you an introduction into the application and how to use it, how to make your own things with the application, and where you can actually use it within the teaching of science in particular, but you can obviously use it outside of science as well. So if you'd like to just pick up an iPad from there, password's 0000, just simply walk around, look at some of the mats and see if you could actually like to use any of the apps. That's essentially it. Sorry, you didn't understand a word?
What I've understood from you is that you use apps in learning and teaching science.
Yeah.
And if I put the password, I can use...
Okay, right, okay, come with me. Let's try it.
Okay, please.
Come on. Come with me. Okay, right. Password. Okay, we're going to take this one. Is Vine, right? Okay. Sometimes for a summary of a lesson, just to finish off, just a plenary to understand what students have actually learnt from the lesson.
Goals. Goals?
The goals, yeah. Okay, so what have they understood from the lesson? We can look at something like, where's Vine? This one's Vine, which is on here somewhere. No, there's lots of kids' ones. Right, we can look at something called Vine. Vine is something that allows you to create a 6-second video only. Okay, so they have to summarize the entire lesson in 6 seconds. So they have to tell you what they've learnt.
In 6 seconds
in
only?
6 seconds only, okay? That's the limit. Vine only does it for 6 seconds.
Yeah,
But it's interesting. You would think that, okay, I'm stood here and I'm thinking in 6 seconds I can say, 4 or 5 words. But students, they do it.
So you make short of...
And it helps them to summarize.
summarize the things.
Okay, that's the thing. It gets them to summarize, and they have to pick the important parts of it. So that's where it works. And students love it. They are familiar with Vine.
Yes.
They use it as a social network anyway. Okay, so they use Vine. So these are all apps that you can use within your lessons for various different things.
Can you, actually I came late, can you, from the
Can you
beginning
give
itself,
example,
if I
please?
have,
I don't have Vine on here, so I can't, I'm afraid.
the task you gave us on a Padlet, then can you explain that? That you gave
Padlet?
just now.
There's lots
Can
of
you-
different apps that you can look at. So if you try all 10 of the apps, if you just take the brief information about them and then give them a go, whatever you have in the short time that we have remaining, and then you can move on to something else and then try it later in your own time.
Yeah.
That's the idea. But the focus here is to basically just get snippets of each app and see, do you think you'd find it useful in your teaching and learning? Because I know at Deer International we have found them all quite useful.
Yeah.
Is that right? Oh, this one's 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, you got it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Take my time to go through the app.
Yeah.
No, I'm just going to leave that there. Yes, sorry.
See, I made this and I deleted this. I've opened an account.
Okay.
How do I go back to that? Like if I want to make something else? And,
If you want to change it,
no. Like from here, I want to make another lesson and go.
you're done. Okay, new lesson.
Okay.
There you go.
Because the delete button was on and the new lesson was not coming.
Okay, no. You have to press done to say that you're finished, and then you can have the next one. But with this one, it's brilliant because you're recording. You can even record your voice if you have the microphone on there. So you can write over it. Get yourself a stylus, start writing. You can add images to this, web links to it. It's actually quite...
And where's the stylus?
there isn't one with this, no.
There isn't one with this.
I'm saying how you can use it yourself.
So it can be used on the Android also, Android tablets.
I personally haven't tried it on Android, but you can maybe have a look to see if you can get it on Android. I would assume so.
Because this is an
this is
the
an
iOS,
iPad.
is it? This is with the
That's
iOS, no?
iPad, yeah, that's iPad.
Because iPad has this problem that the stylus is not there, so writing becomes difficult. With the
Oh no, but you just purchase a stylus. I mean, I got one for like 20 dirhams or something.
okay,
so
you can. Okay.
you can purchase them, yes. Yes.
And this one to share, we'll have to share it either, we can share it via the Google Drive or maybe our own school web CLP or something link account.
Can you share educations on Google Drive?
How do you share it?
Share them.
Share with the kids, like.
How do you share it? Because normally whatever we do on Android, we share it on Google Drive.
Okay, you've set up an account there, haven't you? You give students access to your account, so they have to access your account on Educreations.
And search your videos.
And search for your videos.
So you
there.
just give, I just give my account to them and they can view it
yes.
from home. Okay, that's good. That's no problem. Thank you.
Hi. How are we getting on? You okay?
Can you illustrate us?
Yeah, Evernote. This is something that I've actually been using today for the conference, just to, instead of like you go to conferences, you go to meetings, you take down notes. Well, this is one way of documenting everything.
Yes.
It's another way of doing that. You can take photos. Now, this is an experiment that Nicola did with her class. So they've written up the experiment, and within that they've taken photos, and then they've added the photos to their scientific report.
Enough photos?
You can add photos, yes.
And we can do it on the iPad or iPhone?
Yeah, Evernote, it's free to download.
Can we insert this picture to exam paper also?
Into an exam paper. Well, with Evernote, you can email it to yourself, and I think you can convert it to a text. I think you can convert it to a text.
I can email to myself.
Yes, you can. Yeah, it gives you an option to email.
These ideas.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Please feel free to walk around and look at something else as well. Looks very good. How are we doing? Are we going to look at something else?
Yeah, we were just discussing.
You try and Padlet as well now.
This is about the building the wall. So the basic purpose of building wall is a communication between the students and the teacher.
This is the idea. I think what we're trying to do is basically involve the students a lot more and look at what they like to use. They use this better than I do. Okay, the iPad, I can walk in, I was like, how do I do this? And they're like, miss, okay, let me show you. So they use it better. How has it affected me? I'm not going to lie to you. Initially, it's going to take some time for you to develop the resources that you have, but once you have them, they're there and they're available to you, and you can also share them with the rest of your team. Okay, but I mean, iPads. All our teachers in the school have the iPads now, and we are using them quite extensively.
So when we have to use a wall, when we are using this thing, then
I'm not saying I use it in every lesson. Okay, it doesn't cater. Not all of these will cater to every single lesson, but every so often you would use one, maybe two of these apps in a lesson. I mean, I like to use Erasmus a lot.
Can you tell me one lesson that you used, how you used it?
How I've used Erasmus? Padlet. I have to say, I personally haven't used Padlet. I think Nick has. Nick, have you used Padlet? Yeah.
No, any of
Forget
the
about the
tasks.
Any of them.
Any of
The iPad?
The tab, yeah.
The tablet itself, yeah. I mean, I can use this. I can put presentations on Keynote, and I can put them up there. If I get students to actually do presentations themselves, a lot of them have Apple products. So a lot of their work is done in Keynote. So I can mirror that onto my actual screen. So we have the ability to put what's on here onto the actual whiteboard. Okay, so we have that mirroring technology. They can use that. These apps that we have, a lot of the students have downloaded them. They're using them in lessons. They're using them outside of lessons. I've used Erasmus a lot. There's one particular thing I like it for is Reactivity Series. Is basically, instead of me standing there and talking to them and giving them information, because with chemistry they need to have a lot of information about a lot of the different elements in the periodic table particularly, and instead of me standing there and talking to them, I say to them, wander around with your smartphone, your whatever device you've got, place it over the little documents that I've got around the room, and that will give you the information that you need. And then if they have questions about that, I can discuss that with them, rather than me just standing there and telling them this information and they're trying to write it and not register everything that's actually been said to them. It gives me a little bit more freedom when it comes to discussing things with students. I can be more interactive with them.
Is to communicate with the students and the teachers and to get the feedback from the students.
Yeah, you can easily get feedback with them. A lot of these will allow you to do that as well, because Twitter, any of those, what you can basically do is the kids can actually go on a wall and they can just write their information, write what they thought about the lesson, a few sentences of one word to summarise it. Okay, so several things that they can do with that.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's all right, please just walk around, have a look at something else as well. Sorry.
Can I have your contact details?
Yeah, of course. And that is Miss Salim Hussain. Okay.
Thank you very much.
It's all right. Thank you for coming.
Same thing, given pro? No, different tasks are different.
Hi, sorry.
Use Erasmus.
How do you use Erasmus? Right, I think the gentleman there's got some. Are you just looking through all my stuff there?
Yeah.
Would I be able to, sorry, just for one moment, just to show this lady how to use it? Okay, so what you basically do, once you've created it all, it shows you how to create it. What I would do is press on that, and I've created this already. So I hold this up to there, and out of that comes a little video that I've made. Okay, so that's just some of them, the apps that we're using, and we're looking at today. Okay, so how to actually create it. Okay, that's to just view that. This would show you how to create it. Okay. So there's the one missing.
Is it very complicated?
It's not complicated. It takes a little bit of time to get used to it, but once you do it, I mean, I've done quite a few of these now, so you get used to doing them. It just depends what you want to actually put there. You can just have a photograph coming out of it, or just something with information. Sometimes my students get confused, like, Miss, this is just a still, and this one's got a video on it, and this one's got music to it as well. I'm like, yeah, it depends how I felt that day, and what sort of information they need to get from it. So you can do all sorts of different things with it. I find it useful, and the students are quite enthused with it. They're enthused, they like the idea of using it, and they're learning using a different platform.
What's your main thrust when you use this? How do you use it?
I use it when I need to get a lot of information to students. Chemistry teacher, one that I've used is for Reactivity Series, periodic table, is when they need a lot of information about the elements. They need to know about the reactivity, they need to know about the different elements, their uses, their physical properties, all the different properties. Rather than me standing up there and just saying everything to them, or looking at PowerPoint and giving it to them, and that, they have this information. It's there, so they'd hold it over something like helium, okay? What pops out from that is all the information they need for helium, okay?
But you would have had to create that.
I have to create that, yes. But then I already have that, because I have that on a PowerPoint already. So all I have to do is hold this up to my PowerPoint and create my video. So,
what's your name?
Salim.
Can I just
Salim Hussain? Yeah, please do.
And would you come and do a workshop for our teachers? Or do I have to ask your...
I can speak to our CPD manager and see how that goes. Yeah.
That really would be useful. I'm the principal of GEMS Modern Academy.
Okay, where's that one? Because there's lots of GEMS.
Next to Rempton.
Okay.
Next to Nadal Shiva.
Okay.
Nadal Shiva. And I'd love you to come and do a workshop for our I already have a teacher who's experimenting with Erasmus.
Yeah. Okay. No, that'd be good too. Okay. Yeah. Right. I'll talk to the guys at school.
Your name is
Salim Hussain. Yes. Okay.
Thank you
That's
so
from
much.
Dear International.
Very good. Task one.
All right. Thank you very much.
Next task
Yes.
one.
No, that's task 2. This is where you actually can do your own. There should be a
Okay.
task, but I think things have just moved around a little. Yeah, I think it is. I think people are starting to move things around. That's Padlet over there.
Somebody is.
It's with somebody else, I'm afraid.
We got it here. Yeah, it's
I know, but I think somebody's just walked off with it.
Do you have a booklet or something?
We don't.
compiled?
I don't actually have the booklet compiled, but we can look into, if you speak to the organisers, and they can get in touch with us, and we can see what we can do for you. But if you want to leave your email address for me,
Yeah,
and I
please.
can.
Yes.
Sorry, I just squeezed past somewhere. Sorry, what time does the session finish?
conduct a CPD or something in schools and all?
We can look into it. 11:15, right, okay. Sorry. Hi everyone, can I just ask you to just hold on where you are for a moment, please? Hopefully you've had the opportunity to look at least a handful of the apps that we've had and the information that we've got. What we would like for you to do is maybe talk to someone and just grab someone who you've never met before, who's new to you in this actual conference, and basically exchange details with them, like your email addresses with them. What we'd like is for you to actually use one of the apps that you've looked at and try it. Keep in touch with this person and just use them as a mentor, and you would be their mentor, okay? So you're basically keeping in touch with each other and saying, have you used your app yet? How are you using it? Whatever you found useful or not. We did leave our email addresses at the beginning of this as well, and I'll put those back up. So if you want to get in touch with either Nick or myself, then we'd be quite happy to help you along as well if there's anything, other further questions that you have. But please just exchange details with someone else and try one of these apps for us. We'd like for you to at least get that much from this session. You've got about a few minutes left before you move on to the next thing. Oh, right, sorry, there's something. Right, okay. This is with Erasma.
Can I have your
Oh, sorry, I don't have a card with me. Right, there's a pad in here, isn't there? Right. Could you just write yours on there for me, and I'll get in touch to you. I'll go back. There, my email's on the top there. Right. Okay, you'd open an app called
Salim Hussein?
Salim Hussein, yes.
Salim Hussein. My daughter.
Right, you open the app Erasma, okay, and you hold this over the photo, and out of this comes whatever I've developed from this, okay. So with this photo, I've put this aura behind it, okay. So this is just a simple thing, looking at different apps that we've.
Words behind the.
Yeah. So it's almost like a QR code. It's a different way of looking at QR codes, but you can create your own
This
here.
is just for iPad or iPhone.
Pardon?
For iPod or iPhone.
It's on Android.
Android.
Yeah, you can use. Right. Okay. So it's called Erasma. Erasma.
Erasma. Where is the name?
It was over there somewhere. So wherever you took that from, it should be near there.
You told that there are 10 apps.
Right, okay. You've got Vine, Socrative, yeah. You haven't got Erasma, Socrative, Twitter, QR, Vine, Evernote, Stop Motion, Padlet, Quizlet. There is one more. I can't remember. Nick, sorry, do you remember what the 10th one is?
One of yours, huh? You remember? You look good, very good with that.
Oh, I'm not sure about that one.
That's
Isn't that like, it's a good picture of you? The picture of me is terrible, but the picture of you is good.
No, it's just this tied back.
So one snap with me also.
Oh, okay, right.
Don't remember this. One of you can play? What's this?
Oh, we're not going to do a selfie then?
Huh? I'll remember. Okay, this was the pretty river one.
Okay, I'm not sure about that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'll definitely email and I'll definitely try to work.
Please don't. Pick one of them, please. That would be great to hear from you, to know that you've actually used one.
No, actually we have taken all the snapshots of this.
Oh,
we'll try
perfect.
to create
Perfect.
also. And,
oh, that would be brilliant.
Can you just help me with...
Sorry, Nick was going to... What's the 10th one? I can't remember number 10.
Hang on, what have we got?
Hi, guys. Sorry, I didn't get what school you were from.
DES. Do our English speaking school.
I've heard of that one.
It's in Udmeta.
No. Do you know Sydney?
Sydney.
Sydney's not a DES. No, she's not the wrong one. Sorry.
That's all right.
Never mind. Right, thank you.
We're in here next, actually.
Did you find it all right?
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah.
Do you think you're going to use any of it?
I think I'll probably go for the oral one.
Yeah, I like
it's quite
that
cool.
one.
I've
I
done
do like
QR
that.
codes
The
before,
kids
they've
like
worked
it.
really well.
It's just that the look on the face, especially with tuition primary kids. I mean, they're just like in complete awe. I mean, I had like secondary kids like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great, eh?
It is. It's quite good.